Hi folks, Hugo Rivera here with HugoRivera.net, covering another fitness topic and then covering some of your questions. So if you have questions, be sure to go ahead and post them below and I'll do my best to go ahead and give you an answer. Hope everybody's doing great. I'm doing awesome. After this live, I'm going to be pounding some arms because I couldn't pound them this morning. So it'll be done right after this. So I'm getting psychologically ready for that. Anyways, today I want to go ahead and cover the topic of regaining muscle and what happens after, if you get sick and you go through a period where you cannot go ahead and lift. Because I've been getting some questions about that. Some people don't know if they go ahead and lose muscle, if it's going to go ahead and, take us long to go ahead and get it back. Or, some people are pretty confused. I mean, obviously, there's apprehension that if it took you like 5 years to get to a specific level, if you, for whatever reason, you cannot go ahead and lift for, say, a month or two, there's apprehension that it's going to take you 5 years, again, to go ahead and gain the muscle. And lucky for us, that is not the case. So I'll go ahead and cover that topic today in detail, okay? So here's what happens. If you stop to lift, then what's going to happen is that your muscles are just going to go back to normal. And it really varies when it comes to certain people. And that's where genetics comes into play, because some people lose muscle at a very slow rate. Other people lose very dramatically. As a rule of thumb, if let's say, God forbid, that you get injured or you get sick and you really cannot go ahead and train, if you keep your diet high in carbs, if you keep the appropriate diet, meaning like 40% carbs, 40% proteins, and 20% fats, that's going to help you dramatically to go ahead and keep what you have, okay? And then based on the kind of genetics that you have, some people will lose a little bit more than other people. Other people are really good at just keeping their muscle intact throughout a period of inactivity. So that's good for them, But the key thing is that you gotta keep yourself hydrated. Body weight in pounds times 0.66 will give you the ounces of water you need every single day. And you gotta make sure that you keep on eating, because the worst thing you can do during a period of inactivity is to go ahead and just completely stop eating properly, because that's going to go ahead and get you fat, number one, and then number two, you're going to go ahead and lose the muscle tissue. Granted, you may not need to eat as many calories as you're eating currently if you're training, okay? It's just a matter of just slightly reducing the amount of calories that you're taking in, okay? But that's the deal. Hey, Craig. Hey, Crystal. Who else do I have here? Hey, Werner, my friend, how are you? Greetings. I have Make. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Yo muy bien, gracias. Awesome, everybody's here. Cool. Anyways, hi to everybody. So continuing with the topic here, that's the ticket. If you go through a period of inactivity, make sure that you keep your diet intact, okay? 40-40-20. So, the good baseline diet, as I talked before, 1 gram per pound of body weight equals carbs. 1 gram per pound of body weight, again in pounds, is going to go ahead and equal the proteins, and then times 0.33 is going to go ahead and equal the fats. And then if you're going through a period of inactivity, you could reduce that by like 20%, go ahead and cut some of that, and you should be good to go. I will probably keep the protein the same, to be very honest with you, and I would just go ahead and cut slightly the carbs. So like say a person like me, for example, I will still take 200 grams of protein a day, but I will probably lower my carbs to like 160, just because I don't have the kind of activity, and I would leave my fats the same. That's what I would typically go ahead and do, okay? Let's see, I'll go ahead and answer some of these questions. Yes, Brad, I did hear about Rich. That's pretty sad, unfortunately. I'll comment on that a little bit later, okay? And then Craig says he's been doing that all week. Awesome, Craig. Keep up the good work. Awesome. So, that's what you need to do if you're not training, all right? Now, let's go ahead and discuss the whole muscle loss topic, okay? Like I said, if you're not training, what's going to happen is that the size that you have is going to go down. You're not going to lose muscle fibers, okay? Like the number of muscle fibers, that's pretty much set, okay? So it's not going to go down. It's just that the fibers are just going to shrink up. The good news is that when you're ready to go back, they come back pretty quickly in size, because the muscles have memory. So it's amazing, but when you go back after a period of inactivity and sickness or injury, you don't want to start going, balls to the wall and hitting it super hard at the gym. What you need to do is that you need to start slowly. So maybe, you start, what I typically recommend for my clients is that they go ahead and still start with a split routine of like chest, back, and calves one day, shoulders and arms the next day, and then, you know, legs and abs on the next day. But maybe we'll just do 3 exercises per body part of 1 set each, okay? That's the ticket. That's all it's going to go ahead and take to go ahead and get restarted. And you want to start with some higher repetitions. You know how I always talk about alternating between high reps and lower reps in my cycles. And I'll go ahead and, in fact, I'll go ahead and post a routine over here pretty quickly. But anyways, what you want to do is that you want to start with some light weights, and you don't even want to take it to failure. Maybe like leave 5 reps in the tank or something like that. You just want to get the movements going just so you can reestablish the mind to muscle connection, okay? Once you reestablish that mind to muscle connection, the body will immediately start activating muscle fibers, and the muscle fibers will get the signal. And provided that you're feeding yourself properly, you're going to gain all the muscle that you had before and then some, okay? So it doesn't take a whole bunch, and you don't want to start, like I said, balls to the wall from the beginning, because remember, your joints don't really remember very well at first the kind of loads that you were able to use. So you want to go ahead and start slowly but surely, and you don't want to get injured, okay? So you just want to kind of like ease back into the training, and it's all good because you don't need to train as hard as before, because now your body is deconditioned. So once you start training again, you know, everything, all the cobwebs kind of like have to go, and the body has to kind of like restart itself and reestablish the neural connections and all that stuff, the mind to muscle connection, right? And it has to relearn a little bit how to reactivate those muscle fibers. But the good news is that the process is pretty quick, okay? So I mean, in like 3 weeks, you'll be back on the ball, believe it or not. And that's why I have clients, I even have clients that they stopped training, I don't know, when they, like 20 years ago, for example. And then they come to me and I put them on a program. And it's amazing. It makes me look like a magician, because what happens is that the client immediately gets like some incredible results. They get like 20 pounds of muscle in a hurry. And that's just simply because they're regaining muscle tissue that they had before, you see. So that's the whole ticket. So regaining muscle is way quicker than building new muscle, okay? Now, you can still build new muscle as quickly as possible by using periodization, you know, which is basically you go ahead and do weeks of like higher repetitions, you know, 13 repetitions and up. You know, I do as much as 30. And then other weeks, you're going to go ahead and just stick to the lower repetition ranges of like 6 to 10 or so. So, in fact, like I was saying, I'm going to go ahead and post a link over here with a free downloadable, my free 21-day program. Let's see if I can go ahead and post. I posted a little bit too much. Hold on. There you go. It's posted. So you can go ahead and download it. And in that program, you go ahead and have some good sample routines that you can go ahead and use, and make some really nice muscle gains and some really nice fat loss gains as well. And once you're done with that, you can take a look at the routines over here in these books, Body Sculpting Bible for Women and the Body Sculpting Bible for Men, which, as you can see, are totally loaded with information. That's basically goal setting information, training information, nutrition information, supplementation, rest and recovery, tons of exercise descriptions, a huge amount of recipes. We were blessed to have a French chef actually put the recipes together. So they're awesome recipes, and they follow the 40-40-20 program. Okay, so that's the ticket right there with the routines. You know, you gotta periodize. If you don't periodize, then your muscles, they get used to the routine, and then that's it. You don't go ahead and make any gains, because your muscle gets used to anything, okay? Your body is an incredible adaptive machine, and if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, well, you're going to go ahead and keep getting the same results. And if your body's used to a routine already, the same results means that you're going to make no gains whatsoever. So yeah, that's the ticket right there. You got to go ahead and periodize. So anyways, when getting back from inactivity due to sickness or injury, just remember you have to start slowly, and then over the weeks you build up a little bit on your volume, right? But again, I don't suggest a super high volume these days. I mean, if you're doing the splits that I discussed, you know, the most I do for a muscle group these days with those splits is like 12 sets per muscle group. Typically stay between 9 to 12 sets, and I just play around with that, you know. I play around with that, and I play around with the reps, and I play around with the rest periods. And as you all know, I do a lot of circuit training, a lot of like giant sets. That way you get in and out, because after 45 minutes, remember, your cortisol levels go up. testosterone levels go down, which means no gains, right? By now, hopefully everybody knows. And basically, you know, you also get your cardiovascular program too. Because me, personally, I hate to be pedaling for 30 minutes, or I hate to be walking or whatever. I just like to move quickly with the weights, and I like the heart pounding, pounding, pounding. And if I can get through my weight training workouts and live to talk about it, then that means that my cardiovascular efficiency is way better. So yeah, absolutely. In fact, the other day, just to go ahead and test that out, I just did 20 minutes of cardio on the bike. And it was just such a breeze, because compared to, like, say, a leg workout where I'm doing all sorts of squats and lunges in superset fashion, that is really a cardiovascular workout for me. So getting on a bike and pedaling for 20 minutes is really like nothing. I mean, my heart rate was like like nothing. It doesn't even move. So yeah, that's the deal with that. So I like to train quickly because it's just good for you. Let me see what other stuff I have over here. Let's see. Craig has some more comments, so let me read them up. Craig says, been doing that all week. Did the best thing I could this week with pre-cooked. Awesome, Craig. This is great. Big difference in my meals and convenience. Yeah. Preparation is the key, Craig, and I tell that to everybody, okay? All my clients, I cannot overemphasize this enough. If you don't prepare when it comes to the diet, you will not be able to follow the diet, because invariably you will come up on the situation where you're stuck without food. 4 or 5 hours go by, now you're starving, and guess what? It's just really easy to go ahead and mess up the diet. It's just like that, okay? So preparation is the key. In fact, when I would travel, and I've done a lot of traveling in my life, I would always, that would be the period where I would prepare the best, because I had to make sure that I wouldn't be in a situation where I was caught without food. So I really and truly learned how to do some serious accounting of the food that I needed to take on the day that I was traveling, and immediately find a location where I could go ahead and get food on the other side, whatever I would end up. And yeah, these were big priorities, you know. I mean, these are big priorities when you're traveling, and you know, definitely doing your daily life. If you're going, you know, to work and stuff, you cannot leave the house without pre-prepared food, because otherwise your diet is just going to go down the toilet very quickly, you know. Let's see. Crystal de la Cruz just shared my video. Thank you. Appreciate that. Craig says, stayed on course, down 9 pounds. Good job. Big shout out to Craig. 9 pounds. Keep it up, buddy. Keep it up. 9 pounds of fat gone. Bye. You know, keep growing that muscle, and you'll see how quickly all the other pounds go, because the more muscle you have, the more you burn calories, and the more calories you're burning, the quicker it is to go ahead and lose. Let's see. Nikki says, I noticed this with my rear delts. Hey, Nikki, you have to refresh my memory, Nikki. What did I say? Because when I was talking, I was not noticing that the comments were going over here, because the comments were not moving. So I had to just manually kind of like move this. So I don't exactly remember what I said when you said about I noticed this with my rear delts. So if you tell me, we can talk about it. Werner says, I wonder how my body reacts when I start training again, still not working out. It's been, I hate this. I hate it when the iPad just truncates a comment. Let's see what Werner said over here. I'll tell you what, Werner, while I look for your comment, I'll tell you one thing. Your body's going to react tremendously awesome. When you go back, man, just start, like I said, just start with like 3 exercises, 1 set per exercise. You will see what's going to go down. And keep it high reps, okay? Keep it like, you know, 13, 15, even 15 to 20. You know, keep it high reps. That way your body learns again to create the mind-to-muscle connection. And you will see what happens. I mean, you're going to blow up, especially if you're eating correctly. So you will gain the muscle that you lost and extra size, okay? Which is really cool. Let me see if I can find your comment, buddy, because sometimes, no, Facebook is not behaving today. I'm so sorry. I cannot see the rest of your comment. But I know that it's been a while that you have not been training, so hopefully you get back into the gym as quickly as possible. Nikki says, great books. Thank you, Nikki. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I'm really proud of the last edition that we put together, because this last edition is as complete as it gets. It has all sorts of like, has all sorts of recipes. It has all sorts of good stuff. This is funny. It also has my wife over here. Check this out. There you go. That's page 98. I know it by heart. That's yeah. These books are just really, really cool. I mean, in fact, this edition is really the kind of book that I would have liked to have when I started training. If I would have had some sort of book like this, I would have really, it would have accelerated my progress dramatically, because everything is laid out. And you know, when I started working on those routines and the diet plans in the book and everything, I just thought of myself, what is it that would have helped me back then? And this is what we put together. And you know, and James did an awesome job at just really adding his knowledge to the book. And between him and I mean, we came up with, you know, a lot of information. So yeah, I mean, it's you know, it's, gosh, between him and I together, we have like over 40 years of training experience. Actually, let me see. I started training at 14 and I'm almost 44. So, you know, it's almost like 30 years, you could say. So that's just, yeah, it's a, wow, time flies. So I guess between him and I, we have almost like 60 years of combined experience of training. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So hopefully it goes ahead and these books help a whole bunch of people out there. By the way, I love it when any of you go ahead and send me emails with pictures of the books, or when you all take the time to even post on the social media. I really appreciate that stuff. And if you do that, certainly send me a line via private message, and I'll go ahead and take care of you. I'll send you some of my webinars and things like that to go ahead and help you with your journey. But definitely much appreciated for everybody out there that, you know, shares about the books and talks about the experience, and, you know, post on Amazon what they think. So really and truly appreciate that. Anyways, getting back on subject over here, I saw something here. Let me see, one sec. Just want to make sure that I answer everybody. Brad said, Hugo, did you hear about Rich Piana? Yeah, Brad. Okay, I'll talk about that. I'll also talk about Dallas. Give me a sec. Werner says, can you make a copy of the books in Dutch for me, please? I wish. I wish I could make a copy in every language, if you ask me. I have to talk to the publisher about that. But then again, you know, it's like, I would love to have a copy in Spanish and in French at least, you know. It would be good to have them in Dutch too. Why not, right? Hey, if you want to translate them to Dutch, that's a great idea, Werner. So definitely hit me up if you want to go ahead and take the task. You have only 500 pages to go. So, but anyways, let's talk about our, you know, Mr. Rich Piana and Dallas also. Dallas. Both of these awesome bodybuilders, they passed this week. So definitely my condolences to everybody out there, you know, and their families. This is really sad. You know, it's life, I guess. You know, everybody passes one way or the other, and you never know when your time comes. And I think I just want to go ahead and mention to all the haters out there that are posting just really hateful comments about, you know, both Rich and Dallas. It's like, people, you just gotta stop. You know, honestly, it's like, you need to have a little bit of conscience for the families and you know, and for the memory of these people. It's like, if you're posting hateful comments out there, it's like, really, keep them to yourself. I mean, honestly, it's just a bad thing. But anyways, I hope these two guys, you know, continue to lift in the gym up there, if there is one, which I'm sure there is. So yeah, it's really, really sad situation. So yeah, like I said, my condolences to the family of these great guys. Okay. What do I have here? Scott is saying, loving the HugoRiveraFitness Spring Workout Challenge. It's very challenging, but it works. And the rest of your comment is truncated, unfortunately, so I cannot go ahead and read it. I don't know what's wrong with the Facebook stuff. Let's see. Okay, it showed up actually in my computer. So the rest of your comment says, everyone in my gym is amazed at how lean I stay without doing any cardio. Ah, that's the ticket, you see? No need for cardio. I said it. No need for traditional cardio anyways. I think there is a need for cardio, but you could do the cardio with the weights. Everybody in my gym is amazed at how lean I stay without doing any cardio. You're a smart guy, Hugo. Oh man, thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. That's awfully nice. Scott, man, you honestly, you're a great student, buddy. You're a really great student. I appreciate the fact also that you post your pictures in social media and you share your experience. I really take that to heart. It means a lot to me. So keep up the wonderful work, okay? I mean, you look awesome. Unbelievable physique, really. You really have a great physique. So keep up the good work. Who says that? You see, age is just a number, right? Most of my clients are between the ages of 40 to 70, okay? And they look amazing. Everybody looks amazing. So this whole thing about, when I get people that come up with excuses of like, oh, I'm 30 and I cannot lift or this and that, it's like, no. Those are all excuses. I'm so sorry. It's like, you can train if you want to train, okay? There are very few cases where a person is really physiologically incapable of training. Very few. All right? The majority of us have the health to be able to move and to be able to pick up a weight and get to train. And the key thing is, to just start with a sensible program that is in line with your current condition, and that's it. Once you go ahead and you get the right program, you will really and truly thrive regardless of your age, okay? Really and truly. I've seen this. So I'm telling you, age, whatever, is like, there are great bodybuilders, both males and females, who are over 70 years old of age, and they look amazing, okay? I saw one in Japan who's a champion bodybuilder, a male bodybuilder, who's a champion bodybuilder over age 80, looks better than me. So that's amazing. This is crazy. So the human body is an incredibly adaptive machine. So if you feed it right and you train it correctly, it's going to thrive. It's just the way it is. And the beauty of it is that you don't need to train as much as you thought you did. Like when I started, I thought you needed to train 2-3 hours a day or more. And you don't need to diet as much as you think you need to. Like when I started, I thought that in order to get cut, you needed to completely eliminate all the carbs and you needed to, live basically just stuff from protein, Obviously, you don't know these things when you start. So when you start making mistakes. But once you learn, you get to see that all you need is a sensible training program coupled with a sensible diet. And you can do this for years to an end, Scott says, I agree. I am 44 also, and I think I'm probably in the best shape ever. Congratulations, Scott. You see, age, just a number. How many guys give up? I'm over 40. That's like an excuse and a half. You know what I mean? I think that excuse is actually bigger than the I have no time excuse, which I immediately squash. Because, the I have no time excuse, I can design a workout that in 15 minutes is going to kick anybody's butt. Okay? 15 minutes, not 50, 15. Okay? So, the whole time stuff, I don't believe that stuff either. So, it's kind of like hard for me to come up and hear these things. It's just, listen, you either want to do it or you don't want to do it. That's it. Lupe, how are you? Lupe, this guy is awesome. Another one of my clients. Lupe. Lupe says, hi, Hugo, how are you? It's easy to make excuses. Lupe, I'm doing wonderful, man. Just training hard, helping clients, just getting it done every single day, just like you. Just let me go ahead and give some props to Lupe over here. Lupe is a truck driver. And how many people have told me, I have a truck drive, I drive a truck and I cannot train. Well, Lupe figured out the solution, because what Lupe does is that he has a nice adjustable set of dumbbells that he has on his truck. And then I design a routine that he can go ahead and do with those pair of dumbbells. And then he just follows through. And then he prepares his meals and, and he's staying on top of things. And Lupe is making incredible progress. Lupe has a back shot these days that is really incredible. His back shot is like, dude, man, you have like some muscle. And wait till we get, everything tight. You will see. You'll be amazed at the amount of muscle that you're carrying. And I think you can see it already. But, we're our toughest critics. So probably when you see yourself in the mirror, you're probably looking at, things that you don't like. But when I look at you, I'm looking at, wow, here's the progress. Here's where you're going. Here's how you're looking. And I'm like, I'm really proud of you, man. It's like you have followed through and you still getting, better and better with the diet. And I think you're setting up a great example for everybody, out there. Showing people that, hey, you can have a truck driving job, which is not the easiest job in the planet. I've been in rounds with a truck driver. Okay, one time that I was doing, some marketing for a nutrition company, and I just basically went on a truck with a truck that belonged to a distributor of this nutritional company. And truck driving, that's tough. I mean, you guys are up early and you go to bed late, so that's you guys drive a lot. So it's a really tough job, but where there's a will, there's a way. And again, it just goes back to the fact that you don't need so much training. You don't need to be training 2-3 hours a day. It's a myth. You don't need that. And then you need just a sensible diet, and that's it. So basically anybody can incorporate this into their program and into their lifestyle, and there's not even a need to train every single day. You can train 3 days a week and you're going to get great results. The rest is up to the diet and to the resting. You got to make sure that you get some rest at night, but that's about it. Everything else is just really, it's excuses. I mean, I've seen people with really, really tough schedules, and they want to do it and they get it done, so it's one of those things to where, again, where there's a will, there's a way. And if you really want something, you're going to go ahead and figure out the way to go through the obstacles and get things going, okay? So anyways, let me see if I have any other questions over here before I sign off. Lupus says, glad to hear. It's easier for me to work out on the road than it is at home. LOL. I know why. It's because, dude, I totally get you, and I can immediately see why. You're away from the family. So when you come back home, you want to spend family time, and then you have all your kids and everything. It's hard. It's not as easy, because when you're out in the road, it's your schedule. It's you and the truck, and that's it. You know what I mean? But then when you're back home, you have all the family, and of course you want to spend time with them and everything, because you have been away from home working hard and stuff. So yeah, I could definitely see how it's harder for you to schedule, workout time. What I suggest you do when you're back home is that, instead of training like every day, maybe cut back to like once every other day, okay? 3 times a week. Cut back that way so you can go ahead and maximize your family time, Or if you wanted to still work out every single day, wake up a little bit earlier than them, and then you go ahead and squeeze in the workout there. Even though I presume that when you're away, you like to go ahead and get a little bit extra sleep, I'm pretty sure, because you need it. So, either one of those options, whichever one you like best, either schedule the workouts a little bit earlier, or go ahead and just reduce the amount of workouts you do per week. Just cut back to 3 times a week. Or, here's a third alternative. You can get everybody involved. You can get the kids involved. You can get your wife involved. Everybody to go ahead and work out with you. And that'll be cool too. So, that's definitely something that definitely you can go ahead and do. Scott says, can you talk about the supplements you use? Absolutely, Scott. I can talk about whatever you want. Let's talk about supplements. Most important supplement that I use, I would say, is fish oils. The Carlson fish oils. And I take like 3, sometimes even 4 tablespoons of that stuff. And the reason for the Carlson fish oils is because fish oils are just great. They're essential fats. They have so many good properties. I mean, for brain function, energy, joint, inflammation. I mean, honestly, the list goes on and on, including muscle building and fat loss. In fact, I read that fish oils have anti-lipolytic properties, meaning that it makes it more difficult for the body to store body fat. So that sounds pretty damn good to me. And I gotta tell you, Scott, if I don't take my fish oils, because I've done experiments, if I stop taking my fish oils, my strength and endurance take a dive, okay? Plus, I also get way less soreness when I'm taking the fish oils. And furthermore, I can recover quicker in between sets also. It's pretty interesting. Fish oils, super important, okay? Obviously, after the fish oils, protein powder is good just for convenience purposes, right? Because, I would love to eat 6 real meals a day, but it's inconvenient, right? So I like to go ahead and have like 1 or 2 meals that are in protein shake form, right? Because it just makes it easier for me. So the type of proteins that I use for after the workout, I use whey protein isolate or a combination of whey concentrate and whey isolate, or just whey concentrate, even though the one that I have has both whey concentrate and isolate. But for all of you out there, just concentrate after the workout is fine. For the second protein shake, which may be later at night or in between meals, I may just go ahead and do some casein just because it's released slower into the bloodstream. So you can go ahead and do that as well. Lupe says, I'll try that. Thank you. You're welcome, Lupe. Let me know how it goes, buddy. Super proud of you, man. I really cannot say it enough. Going back to the supplement, Scott, here's the deal. I do take the how you call it, the protein powder. I also take enzymes. Enzymes are really good. Not only do they help also with inflammation, but they also help you to assimilate the nutrients that you're taking in much better. So it increases nutrient utilization. So as a result, I make sure to supplement my diet with enzymes, and it really helps out. It really makes a difference. I also take a supplement called ElastiJoint from Labrada Nutrition, and I went ahead and put the link below over here for the site. ElastiJoint is great because one scoop basically has a whole slew of like glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM, vitamin C, gelatin, all in the doses that were used in the studies that showed that it really has a good effect on the joint health and connective tissue health, okay? So I really cannot emphasize enough how good the supplement has been for me, and I've used it for years. And lo and behold, knock on wood, I have no clicking, I have nothing. Like, honestly, I feel better than when I was 14, kid you not. Like at 14, I was pretty banged up because I just trained like an idiot. That's why. But anyways, so yeah, I take the ElastiJoint. For pre-workout, I take the stimulant-free supercharge, also from Labrada Nutrition. The reason I take it, I don't like a lot of stimulants, so that's why I take the stimulant-free version. And I just really benefit from the nitric oxide boosters, from the creatine, the glutamine. No, the glutamine I take separately. I'm sorry. The BCAAs, the what else does it have? Beta alanine. All of these things, you know, I think it's great to go ahead and take pre-workout because it helps you to do more repetitions and to train more intensely. So yeah, the supercharge, I really like the supercharge. I've used that supplement for so many years. They've had many versions of it, but every single version I've always liked. So yeah, supercharge is great. Obviously, a super important supplement that you definitely need to take though is a multiple vitamin, and I also take extra calcium, magnesium, and potassium. The reason I take extra calcium, magnesium, and potassium, and I take it typically after the workout, is because we deplete that pretty easily. And what I've noticed in myself and my clients is that if you're training super hard and you're training, you know, using giant sets and doing a whole bunch of reps and stuff like that, the way that I recommend, you're going to deplete these minerals pretty easily. So I take some Country Life calcium, magnesium, potassium. I actually down 3 tablets of that, and that takes good care of me. You know, sometimes if it's really hot and I'm like working out at the garage and stuff, I'll make sure maybe to go ahead and take four of these tabs right after the workout, you know, to go ahead and replenish me with these minerals. What else do I take? I think, milk thistle. I take some milk thistle. The reason I take milk thistle is because I feel that the liver has to process all of our meals. It has to process all of our supplements. So when I go ahead and give it some assistance, you know, and milk thistle has been shown to help with this. You got to make sure that you get some 80% standardized milk thistle for Silmarin, okay? That's the ticket. And that's pretty much it, you know. That's those are my supplements right there. I don't think I missed anything. Coconut oil. Yeah, sorry. Extra virgin coconut oil. I actually I do my omelets with extra virgin coconut oil just because the fats are super awesome. And that's it. Well, Scott, actually the creatine, I take it with the supercharge. Creatine is on the supercharge. That's why I don't take any separate creatine, okay? Creatine is on the supercharge. If you only, for like the pre-workout supplement, if you couldn't afford the supercharge or whatever, then definitely get just some creatine, because the creatine alone is going to go ahead and, first of all, it's going to last you forever, because you just need to take like 5 grams a day. Even 2.5 grams is going to go ahead and get the job done. And man, that bottle will last you forever, and it's like the best expense in the planet, the best investment, because you really will feel a difference when you're taking creatine. Creatine is just awesome, because you could do more repetitions at the same kind of weight, and it also increases the intracellular water retention. So water retention inside the muscle, okay? Not outside, not like on the skin. You want to have it inside. And that's the ticket. That way the muscle cell, poof, blows up. Remember, most of the body's made out of water, okay? So the muscle cell, most of it is water. So if you can go ahead and stick more water inside the muscle cell, a bigger hydrated muscle cell, here you go, is a bigger cell, right? It's a bigger muscle. Like if your muscle cell is not hydrated, well, it goes down in size, right? It's like a steak. If you take a steak and you burn it, if you notice, it's going to lose its volume. Same thing. Werner says, love Supercharge. Best pre-workout ever. So pumped up. I saw stars. No more blood in... That's awesome, Werner. Let's see. I'll read your comment when I go. Okay. I see it here. So pumped up, I saw stars. No more blood in my brains, but in my muscles. Yeah, I know, right? Big pump. I got to say that. Scott says, great, thanks for all the advice, Hugo. You're very welcome, my friend. You're very welcome. Let me know which one of those supplements you end up using, and let me know what kind of results you're getting with them. But definitely, I cannot talk highly enough about the elastic joint, good for the joints. And then, like I said, pre-workout, either go with the Supercharge or with just some creatine, you know. And then get those visuals. Visuals, super important. And if you can get some extra virgin coconut oil too, that's going to be good for you. Really good stuff, okay? Just has a lot of properties that help you with your health and stuff, all right? So anyways, I think that's all I have for today, unless somebody else has some question that they want to go ahead and ask me. So I'll go ahead and give you a few seconds to go ahead and post. And if not, you know, we'll call it a day, and I'll get my arm workout going. You know, got to go ahead and get these guns kind of like pumped up, you know. And then we'll go ahead and reconvene this coming Friday at 7 p.m. Anyways, no more questions. So that's cool. All right, so we'll call it a day. With that said, thank you so much to everybody who went ahead and showed up over here. I really appreciate you all. You're all my extended family. So thank you always for all the support. And with that said, you know, until next time, take care and train hard.